طيب start then. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، صلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أهلا وسهلا، مرحبا everyone. Start then. Welcome to another class, the Arabic conversational course. And today inshallah ta'ala we are going to cover some grammar inshallah. We didn't manage to cover last lesson inshallah. We've done the dialogue, we've done the vocabulary, and then inshallah we'll go and we'll break up for the workshops inshallah. طيب. Here we are, we're on week 4, daily life, الحياة اليومية. And we had a live class on Saturday where we took the 3 different dialogues and we covered a few grammar concepts such as the 2 extra interrogative words, and we talked about verbs as well. We've done a quick recap, and also we talked about the scene, adding it to a verb makes it future tense, and we talked about the difference between ordinal and cardinal numbers, i.e. khamsa and khamis. What's the difference? One shows order and one shows quantity. طيب. Today's lesson, to be really honest with you, it's going to be dense. Today's lesson is going to be dense, and it's going to cover a grammar concept that's fairly basic. Today we're going to talk about the jumla ismiya, okay? What we call jumla ismiya, which is the nominal sentence. And in Arabic there's only 2 types of sentences. You have a nominal sentence, jumla ismiya, and a verbal sentence, jumla fi'liya. So today we're going to talk about the first one, the jumla ismiya. But before we talk about jumla ismiya, we need to remind ourselves, because jumla ismiya, from its name, it's got to do with ism, which is noun. Okay, so it's the sentence of the noun. So also in English is called nominal sentence. Okay, so before we talk about the nominal sentence, you have to know what a noun is, and you also have to remember the unique features of nouns. So that's the first question that I'm going to post on WooClap. Let me send the link, by the way. You'll find it in the Zoom chat. Please join us on WooClap and get ready for the first question. Okay, is everyone there? Now the first question is, what are the 4 features that are exclusive to al-ism, to nouns? 4 features. So every noun has 4 features. In other words, we mentioned it's like a checkbox. Okay, this feature, it's got 2 options. This feature's got 3 options. Every noun has to tick one of those boxes. Okay, so what are those features? Okay, remember, we done that last week. Okay, so one person said gender. Ahsant. Correct. Gender is one of the features of a noun. It's either masculine or feminine. So every single noun has to be masculine or feminine, or some are undefined as well. But generally speaking, they fall into one of those 2 brackets. Number, yes. So every noun is either singular, dual, or plural. Okay, so every noun has a number. Okay. Gender is already mentioned. Person, no. Person is specific to pronouns. Person doesn't apply to all nouns. We're talking about the 4 features that apply to every single noun. Whereas person, first, second, third person, that's one of the unique features of what? Of pronouns. Okay. I'rab, yes, i'rab, declension. Okay. طيب, what else? One more. Naam. Definite or indefinite? Naam. definiteness. So every single noun has to has one of these, if you like, features. Definiteness, either is definite or indefinite. Okay, definite, i.e. starts with an alif lam, or it's a mudaf. Okay, so there's a list of words that are definite that are covered in the books of grammar. Okay, a list of ways to know if a noun is definite or not. Gender, masculine or feminine. Number, singular, dual or plural. And i'rab, which is either marfu', mansoob, or majroor. Marfu', mansoob, or majroor. It should be in one of those three i'rab cases. Okay, if it has i'rab. Okay, there are some nouns that don't have i'rab, that are mabni, but that's a topic for another day. Okay, طيب, good. Okay, so just that's a recap from last lesson, last week. I mean, not last week, before we broke up in before Ramadan. Another thing we also talked about was adjectives. Okay, what do we say about adjectives? So adjectives are sifa in Arabic. It's called sifa. They're basically words that describe another noun. Okay, so for example, we have jawwal, phone. Okay, now I can describe this phone with different adjectives. I can say jawwalun jadid, a new phone, or jawwalun qadim, or jawwalun ghal, or jawwalun rakhis, or jawwalun saghir. All these are adjectives. Okay, so these words, they describe the noun. But for a word to be an adjective of another noun, there's a condition. And the condition is that, we said last time, what do we say? What's the condition? Okay, the condition is what we call agreement. Okay, الصفة تتبع الموصوف. That the sifa or the adjective, it has to follow the noun in everything. In all of these four things that we've mentioned, yes, for a word to be an adjective of another noun, it has to follow it in all these four things. In other words, if it's definite, the adjective also has to be definite. If it's masculine, the adjective has to be masculine. If it's singular, the adjective has to be singular. If it's marfu', the adjective has to be marfu', and so on and so forth. This is extremely important. So let's show some examples. Here we have لدينا شقة جميلة. لدينا شقة جميلة. So let's see if it ticks all four boxes. When it comes to definiteness, شقة is indefinite. Likewise, جميلة is indefinite. Both of them have tanween, as you can see. So it ticks that box. Gender, feminine, feminine, ticks that box as well. So we can't say لدينا شقة جميل. No, جميلة. Okay. Number, شقة is singular, جميلة is singular. صح. شقة is مرفوع, it's got two dhammas at the end. جميلة is also مرفوع, it's got two dhammas at the end. واضح? Now we can say that جميلة is an adjective of شقة. Okay, if it didn't follow it in these four things, then probably جميلة would have been something else. It wouldn't be classed as an adjective grammatically, it would be something else. And the possibilities are many, we can't go into that now. Okay, so for example, if it didn't follow it in case or definiteness or gender or whatever, then either it definitely wouldn't be a sifa of this word, it would be something else. Okay, and that obviously would have a major effect on your understanding and comprehension of the sentence. Another example, أريد بيتا جميلا. أريد بيتا جميلا. Let's see if it ticks all the boxes again. بيتا indefinite, جميلا indefinite. بيتا is masculine, جميلا is also masculine. بيتا is singular, جميلا is also singular. بيتا is mansoob, it's got two fathas. جميلا is also mansoob, it's got two fathas. What do we mean by i'rab anyway? We'll talk about that later. What we explained last time, for example, the fa'il has a dhamma, the verb subject, the maf'ulun bihi object has a fatha. Why? The i'rab is basically the changing of the last haraka at the word, if it's a fatha or dhamma or kasra, and it only changes for a very important reason, very important grammatical reason. So if you were to change the dhamma, if you were to interchange the dhamma and the fatha, you would completely change the sentence. ضرب خالد عمرا is way different from ضرب خالدا عمرو. Okay? It's a massive difference. Okay? One, Khalid did the hitting. The other one, Khalid got hit. Okay? That difference, where did it come from? It came from what? It came from the Dhamma and the Fatha. It came from the Dhamma and the Fatha. So Allah says in the Quran, for example, وَكَلَّمَ اللَّهُ مُوسَى تَكْلِيمًا. And Allah spoke to Musa with speech. Allah spoke to Musa. Okay? Some of the misguided sects, yes, who don't want to affirm Allah's names and attributes, they would change the Dhamma to Fatha, so that the meaning would be, in their words, وَكَلَّمَ اللَّهَ مُوسَى تَكْلِيمًا. So they would say, no, actually it's a mistake. It should be وَكَلَّمَ اللَّهَ مُوسَى تَكْلِيمًا. Musa spoke to Allah, not Allah spoke to Musa, because Allah doesn't speak, in their obviously corrupt aqidah. But look at how by changing just one harakah from Dhamma to Fatha, you change the whole meaning and you change the whole aqidah. Okay? So this is what's meant by i'rab. So the sifa has to follow the mawsuf. And I can't underestimate and I can't overstate the importance, of understanding this. And when we do the exercises, you'll know what I mean. And then we have the case jamilan and baytan. Okay, final example. We have الشقة الجميلة في الدور الخامس. الشقة الجميلة, they're both definite. They're both feminine. They're both singular and they're both marfu'. But here we have another one as well. Here we have two examples. الدور الخامس is also sifa and mawsuf. So these ordinal numbers that we talked about last time, in essence they are what? In essence they are sifat. In essence they are adjectives. Okay? Which floor? The fifth floor. That's an adjective, showing you which floor I'm talking about, as opposed to the fourth floor. So الدور الخامس, okay, we have الدوري في الدوري الخامسي. Look at when this one became kasra, this also became kasra. When this one was fatha, dhamma, this one was also dhamma. So في الدوري, okay, kasra because of the fi that comes before it, al-khamisi. They're both definite, they're both masculine, they're both singular, and they're both majroor. Is that clear, my dear brothers and sisters? Any questions? Because last week, recapping this is really important for today's lesson. Today's lesson is completely built on what we've done so far. Okay? Is that clear so far? Is that واضح, understood, 100%? Any issues? Now's the time to ask. طيب, I assume everything is fine. Then we have the supplementary vocab. Can we get examples of ones that don't match? Yes, we can. Examples of one with I'll give you the example actually once we start talking about the nominal sentences, because that makes the complete difference. But to just give you quickly an example of something that wouldn't match. And look, them not matching doesn't necessarily mean the sentence is wrong. It just means that it's not an adjective of that noun. Okay? So for example, let's say for example, الشقة الجميلة, let's say الشقق. لا, الشقق is not going to work. Let's say, well, I mean, we can say لدينا شقة جميل. That would be wrong, wouldn't it be? لدينا شقة جميل. That would be wrong, because this one is feminine, so this one also has to be feminine. And inshallah, when we get here to the nominal sentences, I'll give you some better examples, inshallah. طيب. Nominal sentences. Sorry, the supplementary vocab is pretty easy. Ordinal numbers with done them before. الأول الثاني الثالث الرابع الخامس. Don't think we need to spend any time on that. Going on to related grammar skills. Today we're going to talk about nominal sentences. What's a nominal sentence? Well, we already said that Arabic, there's only two types of sentences. جملة اسمية and جملة فعلية. جملة اسمية is the sentence that starts with a noun. So when you come across a sentence that starts with a noun, it's جملة اسمية. Okay? Alright? And that has been most of the sentences we've done so far in this book. They've been جملة اسمية. So for example, هذا أخي هو مهندس. This جملة اسمية. هذا is a noun. It's a demonstrative pronoun. أخي, هذا أخي, this is my brother. هو مهندس. هو مهندس is a جملة اسمية. هو is a pronoun. All pronouns are nouns. That's why they're called pronouns. هو مهندس, he is an engineer. جملة اسمية. Okay? So when it comes to the جملة اسمية, then every جملة اسمية has to have two things. It has two pillars. Okay? جملة فعلية has two pillars and جملة اسمية has two pillars. جملة فعلية is a sentence that starts with a verb. Okay? The جملة اسمية has two pillars. Subject and predicate. Okay? Whereas, and I'm not going to explain جملة فعلية today, but just to contrast and show you the difference. Verbal sentences, which we would call الجملة الفعلية. Okay? So جملة فعلية also has two pillars, which is the subject, okay, which when it comes to verbs it's called فاعل, okay, and the verb, which in Arabic is the fi'l. Okay, so let me explain this now. جملة اسمية consists of a subject and a predicate. جملة فعلية consists of a فاعل and a فعل. The جملة فعلية is easier than the جملة اسمية in that sense. Okay? جملة فعلية is very easy. It's going to start with a verb, and that verb needs to have a subject. Someone must have done the action. Okay? Obviously, this is in line with our aqidah, that every action has a doer. Okay? Even the creation. So we know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a creator. Why? Because He created us. This act of creation has to have a creator. So likewise, linguistically speaking or grammatically speaking, same thing applies. If a sentence is going to start with a verb, then there has to be a subject of that verb within the sentence. The fa'il has to be there. These are what we call the pillars of the sentence. Everything else, yes, is extra. Everything else is extra. But without these two pillars, a sentence will never be complete. So I want you to clearly understand this, that whenever you have a sentence in the Arabic language, you have to find these two pillars, because with these two pillars, you will know if the sentence is complete or not complete, number one. Okay, and your understanding of the sentence will never be intact until you figure out where the two pillars are. And I'll explain what I mean by that. So we'll shelve for verbal sentences for now. Let's just completely focus on nominal sentences, جملة اسمية. Okay? So الجملة الاسمية has what we said, a subject. What's a subject? The subject is the person or thing a sentence is about. In other words, if you're going to speak and you're going to talk, you're going to open your mouth, you'll be talking about something, right? Obviously. صح? So that thing or that someone that you're talking about, that you're giving information about, that you want to say something about, that's the subject. That's the mubtada. Okay? And the predicate basically is what is said about the subject. So in other words, whatever speech you're going to come up with, it consists of something you're talking about and something you're saying about that thing. Okay? Now, that thing you're talking about is the subject, is the mubtada. And the thing you're saying about the mubtada is what we call the khabar, the predicate. Okay? Really, really important. So let me give you some sample questions, okay? I'm going to show you on WooClap 4 sentences. 4 sentences. 4 Arabic sentences and 4 English sentences. Okay? That look very similar. But there's a world of difference between them. I want you to match between the Arabic and the English translation. Okay? Alright? طيب. Or actually, before I do that, let me just give you one sample sentence so that the question doesn't go above your head. Let's give an example. Let's say, okay, let's do a very easy one. Okay, أنا مدرس. Okay, that's as easy as you can get. أنا, it's a subject. That's the thing I'm talking about. I. What about me? مدرس. I am a teacher. Okay, that's clear. صح? So this would be the مبتدا, this would be the خبر. Okay, واضح? أنا مدرس. But of course, the sentences you're going to come across, okay, are going to be what? Are going to be much longer than that. Okay, are going to be much longer than that. Okay, so let me give you an example of a sentence that's much longer, but still is going to consist of a subject and a predicate, of course. Let me give you a very long sentence. Let's say, هذا بيت كبير واسع okay, no, that doesn't make sense. هذا البيت الكبير, let's say جميل, right? Okay, so هذا البيت الكبير جميل. Okay, now here we had a sentence that consisted of what? Of 2 words. Now we have a sentence that consists of what? 4 words. Okay, هذا البيت الكبير جميل. Okay, what would that mean? I mean, basically, where is the mubtada and where is the khabar? This is really the skill that I want you to gain today, inshallah. Where is the mubtada and where is the khabar? Okay, is it هذا البيت الكبير جميل, هذا, this is the mubtada, and then البيت الكبير is the khabar, as in this is a big beautiful house? Okay, is that what it means? Okay, so let's see some possibilities here. So definitely the word هذا, which is this, is the mubtada, because it's the first noun that it started with. So the mubtada is always the first. It's not always, but for these kind of simple sentences, the mubtada is going to be generally at the beginning. Okay, so we're talking about هذا البيت. Okay, so is it this is a big beautiful house? Is that what it is? Or is it this big house is beautiful? Which one of those two is it? Or is it this big beautiful house? Okay, so in these 3 examples that you can see, this one is an incomplete sentence. This big beautiful house is the sentence incomplete. Okay, which means we don't even have a predicate. All of this is the subject. This big beautiful house. I'm just pointing out the house that I'm talking about, but I haven't told you anything about the house yet. Okay, this is a big beautiful house. This big house is beautiful. Question: how would you know the difference? Okay, now that's what the question of WooClap is about. Okay, it's very similar to this sentence, and inshallah after some of you get it right and some of you get it wrong, I'll explain inshallah. Okay, and even if you know the answer, if it's second or first, I want you to know why that is the case. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, let's start with this one. I want you to translate this sentence. Okay, before I give you the matching question, which is easier, we're gonna have you have a go. هذا البيت الجميل. How would you translate that in English? هذا البيت الجميل. هذا البيت الجميل. هذا البيت الجميل. Okay, we have quite a few answers. We have this. Okay, one minute. This beautiful house. Okay, this house is beautiful. Okay, so this is the beautiful house. So far we have 3 different answers. This is the beautiful house. This house is beautiful. This beautiful house. So do you see that even though the sentence is so small, unless you learn these rules that I'm going to teach you today, you will not understand the sentence. Because all of these sentences, they're completely different. This beautiful house is way different from this house is beautiful. This is an incomplete sentence, and this sentence is actually complete. If you said to someone, this beautiful house, he'll be like, yeah, what about it? He's waiting for the predicate, you know? He's like, what about the house? Okay, that's why, and I want you to pay attention to this, the nominal sentences in English, they're also called equational sentences. You know why? Because its format is something is something. So that is in between is very important. This is that, or that is this. Okay, the is in between, if that is not there, if the is not there, then the sentence is incomplete. This beautiful house, incomplete sentence. Why? Because the is not even there. You haven't said anything about it. Okay? طيب. Let me give you another sentence. هذا بيت جميل. How would you translate this one? هذا بيت جميل. هذا بيت جميل. How would you translate that? Okay, let's check some of the answers then. This house is beautiful. Okay, so this house is beautiful. This is a beautiful house. You see different answers. This is a beautiful house. This house is beautiful. Okay, so is it this house is beautiful or this is a beautiful house? Okay, type another one. هذا البيت جميل. Okay, I'm confusing you. You think I'm putting up the same sentence? No, these sentences are all different. And you'll come to know in a moment. هذا البيت جميل. هذا البيت جميل. I'll give you the answers inshallah. Don't worry. هذا البيت جميل. هذا البيت جميل. Okay, this is the beautiful house. This house is beautiful. Okay. And so on and so forth. Okay. Okay, last one. هذا بيت جميل. هذا بيت جميل. Last one. هذا بيت جميل. What does that mean? SubhanAllah, I gave you 4 sentences with the same 3 words. And all these 4 sentences have got different meanings. Okay? I'll tell you in a moment what the meanings are. هذا بيت جميل. هذا بيت جميل. The purpose, my dear brothers and sisters, of this particular exercise is to, number 1, show you the importance of grammar. Number 1. Number 2, to show you the intricate nature of the Arabic language. Yes. And also to show you how learning a little bit of grammar goes a long way. Okay? Type. This is a beautiful house. MashaAllah. Out of everyone, only one person got it right. This is Jamil's house. Jamil here is a name. It's a name. It's not a sifa. It's not an adjective or a predicate. It's a name. هذا بيت جميل. This is Jamil's house. Someone called Jamil. Okay? طيب. ممتاز. Alright. Now, let's do an example where we have all 4 sentences, and then after that I'll explain inshallah. So this is a similar one, like the one we've done earlier, which is, you have the Arabic here, and you have the English here. You need to connect them. Okay? So we have هذا الابن الصالح, هذا ابن صالح, هذا الابن صالح, هذا ابن صالح. Okay? And this lesson, I promise you, is related to adjectives and predicates. Okay, this whole lesson is about how to differentiate between an adjective and a predicate, and also how to find the predicate in a sentence. Okay, so we have again هذا الابن الصالح, هذا ابن صالح, هذا الابن صالح, هذا ابن صالح. أعانكم الله, may Allah aid you. Okay, I see you're struggling. I'll increase the time. Okay, we'll wait until the timer finishes. You got 26 seconds left. Okay. Type. Let's see. Sorry, we have 54% of you. I mean, generally speaking, most of you got this one right. هذا ابن صالح. This is Salih's son. But as you can see, the other answers, yeah, it's average 50-50. Big problem. Okay, now let's break it down inshallah ta'ala and explain what went wrong here. Okay, and explain to you how to do this inshallah. So here, this is all about finding the predicate. Okay, طيب. First and foremost, to understand a nominal sentence in Arabic, your number one objective is to decipher and find out where the subject ends and where the predicate starts. That's the most important thing. Okay, finding out what the subject is, what the predicate is. All of these questions, you got them wrong basically because you got mixed up between the predicate and the adjective. Okay, right. So in English, it's pretty straightforward and it's easy because the word is considered to be a barrier between the subject and the predicate. So when it comes to English, everything before is the subject and everything after is the predicate. Khalas, that's easy. Okay. So for example here, let's look at this sentence over here that we have here. To understand a nominal sentence in Arabic, your number one objective is, you see, to decipher where the subject ends and the predicate starts. All of this would be the subject, right? Okay, and everything that comes after it is the predicate. That's in English. In Arabic, in Arabic, it doesn't work like that. And the reason is because in Arabic, we don't even have the word is. The word is, or its similar words, to be, from to be, like R, M, whatever, these kind of words, it's not there in English, in Arabic. So we don't say, when we say أنا مدرس, when I say أنا مدرس, أنا, I, مدرس, teacher. Where is? Or M, where's M? I am a teacher. Where's M? M is not there. Because in Arabic, it's understood. It's understood that is there. So they don't pronounce it. It's not there. Even though it's there grammatically, it's not pronounced. Which makes it a bit difficult for you as someone learning Arabic and non-native. It's a bit difficult now. How do you know where the predicate starts? How do I know? If the is not there, how do I know now the predicate has started? So to go back to our example over here that we had earlier. Where is it? The sample sentence. هذا البيت الكبير جميل. Okay, so as you can see over here, they call it equational sentence. Let's just put an equal there if you like. Okay, I'm gonna put an equal there just to show you where the barrier is. Okay, so this is an incomplete sentence, and these two are complete sentences. Okay, this sentence is saying, the English one is saying that this is a big beautiful house. So in other words, it's saying that all of this is the predicate, and this is the mubtada. This is the mubtada and this is the khabar. That's what this one is saying. Okay, whereas this one is saying that this is the predicate and this is the khabar. Okay, now how do we know in Arabic? How do we know the difference in Arabic? Okay, I'm going to tell you now. And it's really important because distinguishing between the subject from the predicate it gets a bit tricky, but it's the most crucial thing, because your proper comprehension of any nominal sentence 100% depends on it. So this is where we come back to what we've done today. This is where we make the connection. Remember when we said that an adjective has to follow the noun in 4 things. Okay? An adjective has to follow the noun in 4 things. Now, the thing we are going to focus on today, or the thing that differentiates an adjective from a predicate, is one of the 4 features of a noun, and how the adjective follows it or it doesn't. Okay? Which is, what do we say? We have definiteness, gender, number, and case. This is the one we are interested in, definiteness. This is what we're interested in. Okay? So, for example, here, in this sentence over here, big is what? It's an adjective. Sah? Beautiful is an adjective. These two are adjectives of house. Sah? Now, if that's the case here in the Arabic sentence, then these 2 adjectives, they need to follow house in everything. So هذا البيت الكبير جميل. So let's write all of the harakat if you like. Okay, كبير. Okay, let's write is again, just not to confuse you. So please pay attention. It's gonna be a little bit tricky, but it's 100% worth it. We said that an adjective has to follow the noun in 4 things. One of those things is also definiteness. In other words, rule number 1, the subject is always definite. Alright? You can't talk about something that's indefinite. Something that is not. If I say to you, for example, a teacher, okay? Then you'll be like, which teacher? You don't know which teacher I'm talking about specifically. Alright? So the subject, the mubtada, is always ma'rifah. It's always definite. What does that mean? That basically means that the khabar has to be nakira. Why? Because if the mubtada is ma'rifah, right, and the noun that follows it is also ma'rifah, then that is going to be an adjective. It's not going to be a predicate. Do you understand? So let's check this out. هذا البيت الكبير جميل. صح? Where do we put the barrier? Where is the is? Where is the predicate? The predicate would go here. Okay? Why? Why is this the barrier? that separates between the mubtada and the khabar, because as you can see, هذا, which is a demonstrative pronoun, it's ma'rifah, it's always ma'rifah. Al-baytu is also ma'rifah, it's also definite, which means this is basically either an adjective or a badal of هذا. So they go together. Okay? Al-kabiru, likewise, it's ma'rifah, they go together. Okay? So here we have jamilun. There's no alif lam in front of the jamilun. That means this is the khabar. So in other words, where the nakira starts, the predicate starts, the khabar starts. Okay? Obviously, this will become clear once we do more practice, inshallah. Okay? Is that clear? So this big house, obviously in Arabic, the adjective comes first. So this big house. Al-kabir here is an adjective of al-bayt. Al-kabir is an adjective of al-bayt. Why? Because the alif lam also has alif lam. Okay? And al-bayt, yes, is a badal of hada. We haven't done badal before, but let's just say they go together with this because they're both ma'rifah. So whenever you see an Arabic nominal sentence, you have to look for the predicate, and the predicate you can know where it is by finding the indefinite word. Okay? I'm a little bit oversimplifying things, but it's worth it at this stage, okay? Because this is 99% the case. So again, whenever you see a nominal sentence in Arabic, then the subject predicate barrier, where you would put the is where the indefinite noun starts. Now let's implement that now with another example. Hopefully this time the answer should be so much better. Okay? So here we have another example. هذا القلب سليم. So qalb means heart, salim means sound. Okay? هذا القلب السليم. هذا قلب سليم. هذا قلب سليم. Okay. What you need to do is you need to figure out where the barrier goes. Where does the is go? It's all about this word over here, is. And it goes in the place where the indefinite word starts. The indefinite word. Why? Because where the indefinite word starts, that means it's not an adjective anymore. Because if it was an adjective, it would have had an alif lam to be definite, because the mubtada is also definite. I hope that's clear. Okay? If this is sounds a bit difficult, sorry, that's the nature of grammar. Not much I can do about it. But the beautiful thing about grammar is once you get it, mashallah, it opens up a world of possibilities for you, inshallah. Okay? But without this grammar now, these 4 sentences would be basically a word jungle. You would never know the difference. You don't see the question, or we'll clap. Okay, one moment. Oh, sorry, it's asking me to log in. Hold on, please. Okay, do you see it now? Okay, this is the old question actually. Do you see it now or you don't see it? You still can't see Wuklab?
So we can see it now.
You can see it? Okay, let me open the question again. طيب. So again we have هذا القلب سليم. هذا القلب السليم. هذا القلب السليم. هذا قلب سليم. and هذا قلب سليم. Okay, again, definiteness is known by alif lam. Indefiniteness is known by the tanween, to do 2 dhammas at the end. Okay. Only 3 people answered so far. Come on. Tell me in the chat if you find it too difficult. Or if you haven't understood. Okay, so we got more answers now. Okay, so I'll give it 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. Slightly better. Slightly better. ما شاء الله. هذا القلب السليم. Okay. So let's check them out. There's 4 questions. We have هذا قلب سليم. This, automatically you see that this is indefinite, right? That means put the is over here. This is a sound heart. Okay? Alright. هذا القلب, these two, they're both definite. Don't put the is over here, put the is over here. هذا القلب سليم. This heart is sound. It's all about knowing where to put the is. Once you figure out where to put the is, خلاص, you understood the sentence. Okay, let's do another one. هذا القلب السليم. هذا is definite, القلب is definite, السليم is definite. The is going to come after the sentence. This sound heart is. So this sentence is incomplete. And هذا قلب سليم is the easiest. All of you got it right, which is this is Salim's heart. Okay? طيب. Another one. Again, I remind you, it's all about figuring out where to put the is. Just go and look for the indefinite word. Okay? When you find the indefinite word, put the is in front of it. Then you will know the meaning of the sentence. If you know where to put the is, you've understood the sentence. Believe me. Probably should have put the Arabic first and get you to answer in English, because this is more difficult. You know that when you're answering in Arabic, it's more difficult than answering in English. طيب. We'll give it a little bit more time and then we'll stop. 10 seconds. طيب. Alright, let's see what the answers are. Okay, mashallah. Amazing improvement. Great. Now we're going to do a slightly different one. You have to pick just one option, because now it's easy for me to explain, inshallah, once you get it wrong. So the question is, this is an easy handwriting. Which is the correct answer? This is an easy handwriting. So we have kitaba, which means handwriting. Sahla means easy. And tilka means this or that. That is an easy handwriting. I find it difficult, no problem. It'll become easy, inshallah. No problem. No problem, it'll become easy. I've got a whole exercise for you that you can do until you get good at it, inshallah. So that is an easy handwriting. Where do we put the is? The is here is at the beginning, right? So what are you going to look for? You're going to look for a sentence that what? 10 more seconds, inshallah, then we'll see the answer. And I'll explain. Okay. Bye. Let's see. Okay, just over half you got it right. This is the correct answer. تلك كتابة سهلة. Why? Because the is right at the beginning of the sentence, which basically means that we put the is over here. تلك, that is كتابة سهلة, an easy handwriting. Do you understand? Right, next one. That teacher is wise. That teacher is wise. Okay, I think for this question 1 minute is too long. I'll give you 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. طيب. Okay, we see an improvement. ذلك المعلم حكيم. Why? Why didn't we say that is a wise teacher? Because al-muallim over here, it's definite, which means we can't put the is in between ذلك and muallim. So we have to put the is where the predicate starts, where the indefinite, where we see the indefinite word hakimun. So we put the is over here. So that teacher is wise. That teacher is wise. Okay? طيب. One more example, inshallah. Let's do another one. Okay, how about this one? She is Amina's friend. Or Amina, sorry. She is Amina's friend. هي صديقة أمينة or هي صديقة أمينة. صديقة أمينة or صديقة أمينة. Different, sorry, if you can't see it. First one is صديقة أمينة, it's got tanween. The second one is صديقة أمينة. صديقة أمينة. That's the difference. So one's got a tanween and one doesn't. And at the end is صديقة أمينة and صديقة أمينة. Okay. طيب, most of you got it right. هي صديقة أمينة. Why? This is مضاف مضاف إليه. And when it comes to مضاف مضاف إليه, then the مضاف is always definite. Whereas this is indefinite. So the mudaf is definite. We haven't covered that part. I just wanted to. So طيب, how about this one then? That is Shadid's boss. Shadid is a name. That is Shadid's boss. This one should be easy, inshallah. That is Shadid's boss. As opposed to that boss is Shadid.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بارك الله فيك. حقيقة أنا مع أبو مصطفى كل دورة أول بأول ندخل ونشاهد التنبيه ونشاهد الأمور. حقيقة هذه الدورة كانت يعني مفاجأة جميلة. كنا حقيقة نخشى من أثيوبيا وكان النقص في أثيوبيا.
طيب, MashaAllah. Let's see. Yeah, so this one was easier. I expected that to be the case. Okay, ذلك مدير شديد. مدير شديد. He is that is Shadid's boss. Anyway, I can see that it's a little bit challenging, but having said that, I promise you that this is one of the most important concepts you will understand or you will cover when it comes to Arabic grammar, because this is where a lot of people go wrong. This is where a lot of people misunderstand sentences. So the definite and indefiniteness of nouns is very, 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 very important. As a matter of fact, it really defines your correct understanding of a sentence. Okay? I'll leave it at that. Any questions? Any input? I know you need more practice. I've got some practice, inshallah, practice for you that you can do in your own time. But inshallah, the important thing is, have you understood the theory? That's the most important thing. If you understood it, theoretically speaking, then the practice, inshallah, will come along, inshallah. Is this what your basic Arabic essentials course will cover? If so, when will it start, inshallah? Yes, definitely. As a matter of fact, the Arabic essentials course, I'm actually doing it for you guys in the Arabic conversational course, because as you can see, the way we're covering things now, we're just covering bits and bobs here and there that are related to what we've done so far, right? But I believe that if I were to present all of this in a more logical way, where I explain things that are related at the same time in one go, I think that would be easier than just covering the grammar concepts found in the Bani Yadayk text. Just because that way it's kind of like I'm trying to glue it together, but there's still some kind of a bit of difficulty with that. So yes, so the Arabic Essentials course, this basically what it's about. Some of these basic concepts, such as nominal sentence, verbal sentence, how to find the two pillars, pronouns, using the correct pronoun, verb conjugation, basically from past to present tense to imperative, and using different nouns, agreement between adjective and the noun, these sort of things. These things are, to be honest, I think one of the biggest problems in the space when it comes to Arabic teaching or even language teaching is that people, they always overlook the basics. These sort of basic things they always overlook, and these are the sort of things that if you get them under control from the beginning, everything else will become much easier, inshallah. Okay, I didn't get a single one correct. Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's a bit difficult. If it's the first time you're doing it, it's not a surprise. It's fine. Okay, because it's something completely new to you. Okay, but I mean, if you didn't get a single one correct when I've handpicked the sentences for you, then how about in the real life? So that just shows you the importance of this. Okay, that's why this is really important, inshallah. Okay. Type. Going on to we'll do a quick preview of today's workshop, inshallah, and then we're gonna break up, inshallah, for the workshop. لدينا means we have. لدينا means we have. We've covered that in the third unit. It was one of the words in the third unit we've covered. Okay, so today's workshop obviously is going to be about speaking practice again, like always. That's what the workshops are about. So the teacher, inshallah, and myself with the brothers, we're going to do some reading fluency to start off with, making sure you can read it fluently. You cannot speak fluently until you can read fluently. So if you can't say the sentence fluently from a book, how are you going to say it fluently in person? It's not going to happen. So reading fluency is very important. Then we're going to do some pronunciation practice. Show you quickly how that works. So this week we're doing the ta and the ta. So basically this is what we're going to work on. Every student gets to do 3 words after each other, where the ta and the ta are at the beginning of the word, the ta and the ta are in the middle of the word or at the end of the word. So here we have طلّ and تلّ.
طلّ تلّ طلّ تلّ.
So it's all about contrasting, listening to both sounds at the same time. Okay?
خطر خطر.
Okay? خطر خطر. Okay?
خطر خطر.
See the difference?
خرط خرت.
Okay? خرط خرت. For those of you that did the tajweed course, then ta doesn't have hams, doesn't have the air coming out at the end. Whereas ta, it does. So خرط, ta has qalqala, خرط, and خرت, خرت. That's the difference. Okay? So that is the pronunciation practice, inshallah, the teacher will do with you. Another thing that you'll be doing in the workshop, inshallah, is the make your own sentences. Okay? So teacher will present you with a list. Let's do one sentence actually now on WooClap. Okay, so I'm going to show you the vocabulary table, and I just want you to write a sentence. Okay, whatever sentence. Okay, so make up a sentence. Okay, so the vocab is there. This is basically testing you on what? On your grammar skills, where you're able to put these words together to make a legible, understandable, correct sentence. Okay? So go ahead, make a sentence. These are the words basically. Okay, let me make it full screen. How do I do that? 1 second. More actions. No. Replay. Full screen. There we go. So these are the words. So we have the ordinal numbers. الأول الثاني الثالث. We have time. These things are related to time. الفجر, يوم العمل, ساعة السابعة, يوم العطلة, الصباح. These are the verbs we've done so far. يتوضأ, يقرأ, يصلي, يسكن, يريد, يدخل, ينام, يستيقظ, يذهب, يكنس, يغسل, يكوي, يشاهد. These are the places. Okay. مسجد, مصلى, غرفة, حمام, بيت, شقة, حي, مطار. These are interrogative words you can use to make a question sentence. هل, أين, كم, أي, ماذا, and متى. And these are some of the objects. سيارة, حافلة, أطباق, ملابس, كتاب, تلفاز, نظارة, معطف. So make a sentence inshallah in WooClap now inshallah. Try and make a sentence. I'll give you like a minute or so. طيب, let's see some of these sentences. I need to get 2 screens. Bismillah. So we got 5 sentences so far. Let's see what they are. Okay, some of them are written in English, no problem. We have متى يذهب إلى المسجد. No, that's not correct. متى يذهب إلى المسجد. يذهب means when will he go to the masjid, but I don't know who you're talking about. Okay, so you have to say maybe متى يذهب محمد إلى المسجد. So where is the فاعل? The fa'il could be hidden within the verb itself, but that would only make sense if me and you were having a previous conversation and I know who you're talking about. But just like that, متى يذهب إلى المسجد, out of the blue, then that doesn't make sense. أنا سأذهب إلى المسجد. Okay, that makes more sense. أنا سآكل الخبز. Okay, sounds good. ماذا كتاب يقرأ. No. We said ماذا is used for verbs. You can't use ماذا followed by a noun. Okay? You should say instead أي كتاب يقرأ. Which book does he read? أي كتاب يقرأ. You see? That's the benefit of practice. Okay? طيب, هل يذهب إلى الجامعة بالحافلة. Again, same thing. يذهب. Who will go into the جامعة by way of the bus? Who? Okay? Doesn't make sense. Then we have a few sentences here, more sentences. We have هل تكوي الملابس في اليوم العطلة. It's not في اليوم العطلة. في يوم العطلة. It's مضاف إليه. Don't add an alif lam. في يوم العطلة. Not في اليوم العطلة. عطلة is not an adjective of يوم related to what we've done today. في اليوم العطلة would mean the vacation day. But that's not right in Arabic. في يوم العطلة, in the day of a holiday. أي مسجد ستقرأ القرآن في الصباح. Beautiful. ماذا تغسل في الحمام? Okay. يقرأ كتابا. It has to be كتاب في يوم العطلة. Who يقرأ من? Have to use, either you have to come with a fa'il so that we know who you're talking about, or you have to say something like أقرأ or تقرأ. Because when you say أقرأ, we know you're talking about yourself. When you say تقرأ, we know that you are addressing someone right in front of you. Okay? طيب. أحسنتم. So that's one of the things you'll do in the workshop. But obviously in the workshop, you're going to be speaking it, you're going to be saying it. You're not going to have the luxury of sitting down and thinking and then writing it down. It's going to be there. It's going to be live, inshallah. Another thing you'll be doing in the workshop is make up your sentences using these speaking prompts. Talk about your daily activities, what time you wake up, the things you do on a daily basis, and when, the house chores you perform. All these are things related to what we've done this week, this unit basically. Okay, so you'll find all of this in the dialogues that we've done. Ask someone else about their daily activities, what time they wake up, what they do on a daily basis at different times of the day, what house chores they perform. Talk about when and how you go to work or school. So these are some of the speaking prompts you're going to be using in the workshop. And then finally we have the random image word widget, okay, which basically you have to make up a sentence based on whatever words you're given. So here we have two of them. We have one where the verb is obscured. You don't know what the verb is. You have to come up with your own verb. And the other one, you have to come up with the object. You have to come up with the verb object, okay? In other words, the maf'ul bihi. So let's try this one out. So we have, let's spin it. So you come up with the verb مهندس ستارة شقة. So what can you say? You can say, for example, يشتري المهندس ستارة للشقة or لشقته. You really want to get good. لشقته الجديدة or لشقته الجميلة, his beautiful apartment, okay? And so on and so forth. Okay, so again, you have to come up with the verb and everything else. So طالب سخان مطبخ. Okay, يريد الطالب سخانا للمطبخ, and so on and so forth. Okay, and the other one, you have to come up with the verb object. I don't know what happened here. 1 second. Verb. Sorry, that's the wrong link. Huh? Yeah, so something wrong here. This is the verb, you come up with the verb, and this one you come up with the or they're both the same. Anyway, in the workshop you can have one where you come up with the verb and one where you come up with the object. طيب هذا والله أعلم وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد. Are there any questions before we break up? نعم أستاذ، سأرسل لك الرابط. أعطني دقيقتين إن شاء الله.